Times of difficulty happen to us all, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're proper, whether you are mad. It's just part of life. With difficulty comes ease, with ease comes difficulty. The yin, the yang, whatever you want to call it. With that being said, there'll be varying degrees of difficulty you will go through, and trust and believe, given a long enough timeline, you will go through something absolutely horrible, tragic, heartbreaking. Speaking for myself, this happened to me about 7 years ago. Heartbroken, grief stricken, and at the time, as I've stated in previous videos, I coped with this improperly. I picked up some bad habits, which led to some more bad habits. And at the end of the day, to make a long story short, I lost pretty much everything. As a matter of fact, I can't even believe it. It seems like 7 years ago was just yesterday. It went by that fast. And I think it's because in my mind, I keep on reaching back for that time. Every day, I recall all the memories I had, what happened to my American dream. I was doing so well for a moment, and I thought this would continue. I thought I was the man. I thought I was the boss, and here I am working a entry-level job. So I'm still in recovery, I guess you should say, but I've had some good times. I kind of powered through it. I'm way better now, knock on wood, than I ever was at that time, and I don't plan to ever go back to feeling that way. And I feel I can say this rather confidently, simply because I do know what to expect, and I do know it's not worth it to give up everything, your entire life, for a single substance. There's not a substance good enough in the world that's going to make you feel a little bit better than a stable life. I understand this. I went through it. It's not worth it. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't get through this. Some can. I'm still not perfect, but I'm not worried about myself in such the same way. When I was going through this difficult time, I relied heavily on friends and family. A lot of people don't have that backing, and they just end up kind of going through life as a zombie, aging prematurely and dying way before their time. I was on that road, but I had some friends I could speak to. I had some friends that made me feel a little bit better about myself. I had some family members that reminded me I was once a decent person, and I still am a decent person. I just need to watch out for myself a little bit more, take care of myself, work on my mental hygiene. Spoke to doctors, therapists, went to groups. It all helped me out quite a bit in the long run. Here I am today feeling a lot better than I did, but I'm still nowhere near living the life I should be living, really. Underpaid, undervalued, but of course a lot of us feel this way. Maybe you do as well. I don't know. Recently, though, as part of my exercise regimen, I've had a clothes hamper, and it's filled up a lot more because I have a lot of workout clothes I have to take off. And someone I spoke to, a family member that I live with now currently, started complaining about a stench in my room. They noticed my weight loss, and at first congratulated me, but now I think maybe they're a little bit jealous of me, because I'm not eating junk food anymore, and I'm not sharing that food. We're not eating together like we did previously. I don't know. But I sense like a little bit of resentment. But anyway, this person, they own the house. They've been kind enough to let me live there. I have my own room, own bathroom, and they mentioned that there's a stench coming from my room. I thought it was me personally, so I started really washing myself multiple times. I got very paranoid about it, felt very bad. She still complained about the stench. So I said, hey, it must be my gym clothes. So we started washing the clothes a lot more, making sure everything was nice and fresh. I couldn't smell this, but they mentioned again, it smells horrible. It smells like chemicals. It smells like burning chemicals. So I kind of went through a laundry list of maybe what it could be. Is it like the my clothes? Is it, I don't know, some kind of clothing that I bought that maybe has kind of an odor about it, like a chemical odor? I didn't know what it was. I couldn't figure it out. And this argument got more and more and more intense. It's still intense to this day. And I finally turned to this person. I said, listen, I can't smell anything. I don't understand what you're talking about. I wish I could. It's driving me insane. It's making me feel very odd when I go to work, when I go out and about. Like, I feel like I smell bad the whole time. What's going on? And they mentioned, hey, it's none of that. It's not you. To which I gave a sigh of relief. They said it is, they believe I'm doing drugs. I'm smoking drugs in this room, and then I'm going out high. So I explained that makes no sense at all, and I wouldn't even smoke drugs in my own house. Like, it just, no, why would I do that? So I said, what does it mean? Like, do you smell marijuana? No, it's something serious. And I said, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't know what you're talking about. I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. And the only reason they keep on going on is, A, to get me a little bit upset because they are fairly mentally ill. And secondly, because I did talk to them in my moment of vulnerability about being an addict. Second event that happened to me, I took my dog out for a walk. I think we totaled about 12,000 steps in one walk. It is 80 degrees, after which time I start working on a garden. 6 hours I worked on that garden that day, planting everything, watering everything. And I was dehydrated. I was tired. You can see it in my face. My face was sunburned. And I remember I sat down drenched in sweat and kind of, breathing hard because I'm not really in good shape. And doing things just puts me out of breath. And the person asked me, well, you used to do drugs, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I had some difficulty back then. And I'm getting pretty angry at this point because I know where this conversation is going. And they said, if I were to test you for drugs today, what would show up in my system? For the record, absolutely nothing. But the point is, I was labeled an addict. People labeled me as an addict. Even though that was a tiny portion of my life, it dominates me now. It's the addict. Everyone looks at me as an addict. Don't trust that guy. He is an addict. He will get angry. He will get sad. He's like not anywhere near his baseline. That was true for a very short period of my life. Maybe a good year and 3 months, 4 months. But outside of that, I've been doing a lot better. I got angry again. And I flipped out, left the conversation. And, the conversation died down. And after a while, the stench thing conversation went away. And I thought for sure it was because occasionally if I go out, I'll have a cigarette. And that can be a chemical kind of odor. I stopped smoking cigarettes. So I'm like, that's quite possibly what it was. It was the cigarettes. And really, I should be a little bit more respectful about, smoking cigarettes and bringing these clothes in. So I stopped. There's no more smoke smell in my house whatsoever. There never really was, but it's a double safeguard. And this person erupts again and says, it's time to come clean. You're going to need to get out of this house until you tell me what drug you are taking. There is no drugs. There is nothing. I'm not smoking anything. There's no chemical smell. I don't know what you're talking about. And I think you're either just trying to justify kicking me out of the house, knowing that I would be homeless at this point. And secondly, you just kind of want that drama in your life, which this person has historically stirred the pot up with family members consistently throughout their life. And friends too. And I said it needs to stop. It's very inappropriate. And I told them I should have never spoken to you about when I was going through a bad spot in my life. I should have kept my mouth shut because I knew you would use that against me, just as they've always used stuff against me. And I said, you're going overboard, and I am going to start telling other people about what you're doing. Because a lot of family members don't really like this person. from then, they just said, well, you're essentially written off as a drug addict. Anyway, I woke up this morning after going for a long walk, and I was about to go to the gym, and once again, this person bought these air fresheners and these candles, and we're like, well, we're gonna have to mask your drug usage, more or less. And I just walked out of the house. That's a very difficult thing for a former addict to hear, because now when I go to defend myself and when I'm assertive about that, she calls her friends, she tells family members, yeah, he became very aggressive when asked about his usage, which means he's still on drugs. This kind of information gets filtered to family members, and it just causes friction points, and it makes me not want to talk to anybody because I have to explain myself to this person tell them everything. And the person that cascades this information is so tremendously manipulative. They'll speak to somebody about it, they won't speak to someone else about it, and it would have me talking to both these people historically and trying to explain what happened, and one person will be like, hey, yeah, I don't know, man, I just try to be cool with everybody, and the other person who never got any talking to about me will be like, what are you talking about, dude? Either way, I sound like an addict. I sound insane. But I guess the point is, make sure you surround yourself with good people, if at all possible. If you do not have that option, which I kind of don't, as time goes on, trust and believe. You gotta reach deep down and pull it out within you. If I go to an AA group or an NA group or anything along those lines just to try to get some additional support, well, I will be looked at as an addict, even though that's not part of my composition right now. If I spoke to a therapist, this person would say I'm an addict. That's why I'm speaking to a therapist. If I go to a doctor, this person would say I'm an addict. That's why I'm going to the doctor. If I go hang out with friends, I'm going to do drugs with my friends. Everything gets rephrased at this age, which is sad, which is disgusting, and I'm kind of tired of it. So I got a book, which is a journal, which asks you very specific questions and makes you put down goals. And one of the goals was, where do you see yourself in 13 weeks from now? 91 days. I thought to myself, man, this is difficult. I see myself continuing to lose weight, making fitness more and more a big part of my life. I see myself working hard to potentially get a promotion within my job or find another job which better suits my skill set. I see myself assertively defending myself against any and all accusations about me being an addict. I see myself breaking away from certain family members, potentially for the rest of my life. Our relationships are already on the fritz, and just having someone else accuse me of being an addict over and over to these other family members only makes strained relationships even worse. And it's very humiliating trying to explain to people why you are not an addict. They look at you like you're crazy. Why are you so defensive? Well, my question is, why is this person allowed to accuse me of using drugs? And you know what? When I even used drugs, it wasn't anything crazy like heroin or cocaine or anything like that. These were minor drugs. It was just the consistency of it, the daily usage of it. I would be a pothead. I would be a drinker. I would take Adderalls. I would take downers, but never anything silly. It did ruin my life, but I'm over it. I am over it, and I wish certain people would be over it as well, because nothing stings as much as the fallout from addiction. No one ever looks at you the same. Some of your good friends will. They'll know you can do better. They will believe in you. Some family members will believe in you, but others, well, trust and believe. You shouldn't have told them anything, because anything you say can and will be used against you, and that's disgusting. Don't be like that person.